This video will cover how to upload a parameter file to one of the hosted IDQ servers as part of the HMDM product. For the agenda, we will discuss prerequisites to use the tool, give a brief overview of parameter files, discuss the use case, cover the steps to configure, and give a demo. In order to use the self-service tool, you must be an HMDM customer. If you host IDQ and MDM on-prem, then this tool would not be used by you. For the hosted environments, dev, QA, prod, and so forth, each will have its own S3 bucket. You must be able to log into that S3 bucket for the environment you want to upload the parameter file to. You must have the administrator password that is used to log in to the IDQ admin console. And the self-service tool will only work on a single node environment. With prod, which has 2 nodes, you would not be able to use this tool. What is a parameter file? In data quality mappings and workflows, you can use parameters in place of hard-coded values. This is useful in automation and when running data quality dynamic mappings. Parameter files are specified when you run the job. For example, if you run a job using info command at the command line, then you would specify the file path on the server where the parameter file is located. And if you were to run a job from the IDQ admin console, then you are given an option to upload the parameter file in the browser UI at the time of starting it. You can find more information in our developer guides. For the use case, customers will have SSH and SFTP access to the dev environments, so dev, sit, sup, and so forth. But in pre-prod, so QA, UAT, customers don't have that same access. The self-service tool is meant to fill that gap where you can upload parameter files on your own as needed without having to contact the CRE team. And this self-service tool will copy the parameter file from a path in the S3 bucket over to the hosted IDQ server at the path that you specify. And as mentioned earlier, with production, you would need to file a case with the CRE team for us to upload files. We recommend that you place parameter files outside of InfoHome, and as one example, you could place them in a directory called parameter files under vibe insdir. This parameter files directory does not exist by default, but if you file a case with CRE, then we can go ahead and create it for you. As a next step, you need to prepare your files. And first you should go ahead and create a text file called execcommands.txt. And it should look exactly as we have here. So for the username, it's going to be administrator for the hosted IDQ server. And the action line and the app server lines should be exactly as displayed here in lowercase. And the password should be whatever password you have. And then in the file path, it should be the name of the parameter file that you're uploading, and then the path where you want it to be placed. And so in my example, my parameter file is just called testparameter.xml. One other point to include here is that your parameter file names should all be unique. As an example, say you have a test parameter file, as I have here, and you upload it using the self-service tool. Say you make changes to the parameter file later, and you want to upload that version, then you need to give that version a new name. It can't be called test parameter because that version was already uploaded. And once this file is uploaded, it will trigger the utility to begin. So do not upload it just yet. At this point, you can connect to your S3 bucket and upload your parameter file at the given path. So once you connect, you should see the operations folder there and IDQ upload parameters customer. And in my screenshot here, I've uploaded it at that path. There is one other directory under this parameters folder called current, and just be sure that you do not upload your files there because the utility will not work. And at this point, I will upload my exec commands.txt file at the same path. And then within 5 minutes, the self-service tool will run and copy the file over to the IDQ server. So after around 5 minutes or so, you can refresh the customer directory in the S3 bucket, and you should see that a process status has appeared here, showing that the job completed and was successful. And if you go to the current directory, you will see that the parameter file that was copied to the IDQ server is here. For troubleshooting, say for example, it's been 5 minutes or more and you still do not see any change, be sure to check that you upload the files to the customer directory and not the current directory. And check that you entered the right password for the administrator. You can verify that by logging into the administrator console for IDQ. And make sure that everything other than the file path in exec commands.txt is in lowercase. So if your password has capital letters, you would want to include that. And if your absolute file path has capital letters, you should include that because it's case sensitive. But other than that, it should all be in lowercase. And make sure your parameter file path is valid. So say in my example, if I had included vibe insdir/parameter files /testparameter.xml, and that parameter files folder was not yet added on the IDQ server, then the self-service utility would fail. So we need to create that directory first. There's also a readme.txt file in the customer folder that you can check out, and it has all of these instructions and troubleshooting steps. And you can also file a case with GCS if you're stuck. So for my demo, I've gone ahead and uploaded the testparameter.xml file here. And now at this point, I will upload my exec commands.txt file. And we will just wait a few minutes. And now that a few minutes has passed, I have refreshed the customer folder and can see that the process status is here, meaning that the parameter file was successfully uploaded. In summary, we discussed the prerequisites and the use case for the self-service tool. We provided steps for use, shared some troubleshooting steps, and gave a demo. For more information, you can refer to the HMDM AWS Environment Guide, and this is shared with the primary contact on your account. The CRE team cannot share this guide to anyone directly, so it's best to reach out to that contact, or if you file a case, then CRE could potentially resend it to the primary contact. And you can also see our developer guides for information on setting up parameter files.